Hello there, so today got a bit of a longer video planned, but one that I'm hoping is going to be worth your while, because we are taking a look at the damage perk cards and seeing how much they actually matter, and if you should just drop them from your builds, or if they actually should be staying in your builds. So let's get into it. Now there's a lot of weapons and builds in the game, so I won't be covering every single type just because that would go on for far too long. But if there's something more specific you'd like to see, then let me know down in the comments and I can do a dedicated video about that if enough people are wanting to see that. But what I will cover today is at least Commando and Heavy Gunner. Okay, so quick interruption, editing a nightmare here. This video went on for quite long, so it's just going to be Commando in this video. But if you want to see the others like, Heavy Gunner or Melee or something like that, then definitely leave it in the comments below. But back to past Nightmare, I guess. And we should be able to get the point across just from those two. But more specifically, what do I mean when I say damage perk cards? And I'm talking about the specific ones related to the weapons themselves. So stuff like your commando perks, your rifleman perks, your heavy gunner perks, etc. You get the point. Are they actually worthwhile? Because especially in some categories like agility and strength, there's just a lot of cards competing to be used. In agility, you got all your sneak perk cards, your AP stuff, weight reduction, and then that's the category for gunslinger and guerrilla cards as well. Over in strength, you got your weight reduction stuff, your survivability cards like blocker, and then heavy gunner sits there, shotgunner sits there, melee cards sit there. So there's just a lot to try and fit in if you're wanting those damage cards. So are they actually needed when there's other stuff out there like tenderizer and adrenaline, bloody mess, Nerd Rage if you're running Bloodied, which, occupy other spots in other categories that aren't always as crowded. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take an option from each one. So for Commander, I'm going to try the Fixer, which is arguably, like the most popular, and then the Assault Rifle, which you don't really ever see anyone using, and see if maybe weapons that aren't as good or meta do need them, and your top choice weapons can get away without using them. So hopefully that makes sense, but let's get started. Okay, so kicking things off, just to take a look at the build. We do not have any of the commando perks here at the moment. No tank killer, there's no, tenderizer, no nerd rage, no adrenaline, no covert op, no bloodied miss, nothing in a legendary either. This is still all for my heavy gunner. So there's pretty much nothing here from our build in terms of perk cards that is going to be affecting the Fixer or the assault rifle for this first test. And for that, we are sitting at 119 on the damage there for the Fixer. And if we swap over to our assault rifle, we are sitting at 82. So clearly assault rifle is a bit lower on the damage scale there. So we'll just see as a baseline what these do against level 100 super mutants to keep it nice and fair and even. And then we'll start adding in cards and see, how things go from there. So let's get the super mutant here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 shots with the Fixer. I'll just find another super mutant just to keep things fair. And I'm not going to be using critical shots either as well, just to keep things regular shots for the moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shots. So 4 or 5 with the Fixer. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Not you. 4, 5. So 5 shots with the Fixer. We'll just quickly take care of that dude. So 5 shots with the Fixer with absolutely no perks. And we'll see the automatic assault rifle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shots. Cool. So quite a few more. Let's quickly deal with that mutant hound. And let's go find another super mutant to help out our testing purposes. So what I'll do is I'll slowly add in the perk cards to see which ones make the biggest difference. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's our baseline. 8 on the assault rifle, 5 on the Fixer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck on arguably the most important card for a lot of builds is its armor piercing card. So tank killer for your pistols, your commando weapons, your rifleman weapons. So we just have tank killer, and let's see how that affects the performance of the weapons. We'll just get rid of doggo. And there's another doggo. Let's see. Goodbye, doggo. Okay, you. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Okay. Down to 4 shots there. Of course, 4 shots that actually hit. Not counting those missed shots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shots. So just add in Tank Killer has now brought the fixer down from 5 to 4 shots. And let's see our assault rifle. Should be a super mutant over here. There you are, buddy. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from 8 to 7. So Tank Killer maxed out has saved us that 1 shot. So from 5 to 4 and from 8 to 7. Now let's add in those actual commando perk cards and see if that makes a big difference. So a lot of people like just running 1-star versions of the cards, others like running fully maxed out. Generally I go for 2 in the middle just because reasons, but if you also go for 2, let me know. But we'll just start off with 1 and then we'll also try 3 just for the, you know, the sort of both extremes, sort of call it. And where's the third one? Master Commando. So now we have the 3 commando cards on, and our damage has now bumped up to 133. So as you can see, not that much from those cards. But let's see if that changes how many shots it takes to kill at all. Legendary? No, I don't want legendary. Just need regular level 100 to keep the testing nice and fair. And you will do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So at 1 star it is still 4 shots on the fixer. And on our assault rifle, the damage is now 92. Okay. So let's get rid of that doggo. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 shots. Okay. So bumped up 1 more for the assault rifle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So assault rifle benefited there, whereas the fixer, it made no difference really. It was still the 4 shots, whereas the assault rifle saved a bullet, switching to 1 more of the commando perks. And now let's try the next step up, which is gonna be for the people that run maxed out version of the card. So 3 in commando, or 3 in all of those commando perk cards. And now the assault rifle is sitting at 101. And the fixer is sitting at 148. So let's go find some more of those super mutants. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now we're down to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So still potentially hovering on 4 depending on the super mutant. Some of them do have slightly different resistances. 3, 4. So still 4 it seems for the most part, but you can potentially get the 3 shot. Any more down here? Yes, there we go. 1, 2, 3. So 3 or 4 depending. So boosting all of those cards to maxed out 3 can potentially save you 1 more shot on the fixer, but still for some of them you'll be sitting in the 4 range. So again, did that really do much for the fixer? Not exactly, at least in terms of regular enemies, but we'll just check what it did for the assault rifle. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 or 6. Again, seems to sort of teeter on the edge between where it was before with just 1 star compared to maxed out. So yeah, see you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 5 or 6. So again, can potentially save you a shot, or it might just be the exact same as before. 5 or 6. So again, is it worth going full out and spending the 9 points, you know, for maybe potentially saving you 1 shot? Or again, as most people, it's more worthwhile just to sort of stick with that 1, which helps out pretty much just the same. But now what I want to test out is we're going to get rid of all of those commando perk cards. We're going to keep Tank Killer and we're going to chuck in some of the other things. So stuff like Tenderizer, stuff like Nerd Rage. There you are. Of course, only applicable to Bloodied, but you know what? Let's actually take that off because it'll be only applicable to Bloodied. So if we're not running Bloodied, there's no point. So get rid of that. Of course, Covert Up because we are sneaking. And over in Luck, we'll go with some Bloody Mess. And swap you out for Follow Through. So now, again, we don't have any of those Commando perk cards. We just have some other sources of damage. And let's see how that performs. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. So, 1, 2, 3. So now we're down to 3 shots and we're not using any of those Commando perk cards at all. And let's see on this. The Assault Rifle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the 5. No, doggo. No, doggo, don't kill me. So with the Fixer, we were down to those 3 shots, and with the Assault Rifle, we were down to those 5-shot or 4-shot in some cases, without any of those Commando perk cards, but just getting damage from other sources like the Tenderizer, the Covert Op, and the Bloody Mess, and of course in Legendary Follow Through, which helps out massively because it's not costing you any points here. So that pretty much leaves you then with potentially how many, up to 9 in Perception that you can use on other stuff that you might want to use. And then you can also increase those damage things. Again, like I said, you can go with your Nerd Rage if you are running Bloodied. Now there is also just one other card that I want to quickly talk about, and that is Adrenaline. I've added that in here now. Again, gain 6 to 10% depending on what version you're running. Of damage for 30 seconds per kill and refreshes with kills. I'm just running a 3-star version here, so gain a maximum of 48% there, 8% damage per kills, and this can really stack up and help with your damage. So if we just go with our Fixer here, get a couple of kills. Let's see. A lot of legendaries. So we got a couple of kills there, and now let's see. 1, 2, and we have a 2-shot, and that's just by adding Adrenaline and going through killing enemies in what you would usually do basically. So yeah, 2 shots now with Fixer, which is really good. So Adrenaline, don't sleep on Adrenaline. It really can boost your damage massively in terms of what you're using. When I'm running my pistols, I generally don't ever bother with Gunslinger perks or Gorilla perks. Again, I just go for stuff like the Adrenaline and the Covert Op and all of those other damage sources, because these really start to help out. And even just something like Adrenaline makes a massive difference, and then that saves you on spending on these other just specific damage cards to the weapon that you're using, and then you can chuck it onto other random stuff that will just give you a more quality of life playthrough in your game. Whether you want to run Butcher's Bounty because you want to get more meat and you love doing whole cooking and recipes and stuff, weight reduction stuff so you can carry an exorbitant amount of things like I do, survivability stuff like Blocker and all of those other cards. You just got a lot of different options. Portable power batteries included. As you can see, I'm generally always running a lot of weight reduction stuff, so I can just carry and have a lot of stuff on me when I want to. Now, of course, for those who have stuck around this long, this is not to say that the specific damage cards are useless and don't use them. Because if you are looking to min-max your build and get the most damage out of your weapons, if you just have the perk points to spare for those cards, then definitely do, against bosses and crit builds. And there's even more to consider with other legendary effects, explosive bullets, VAT crits do 50% more damage. There's just a lot to test and to consider. But my main goal today was just to see how much those cards really do impact, and if the other damage cards and stuff like your armor piercing cards like your tank killer and your stabilized, for example, is what you should focus on instead. Stuff like Adrenaline can make a massive difference in your damage numbers. Your DPS can also be affected by your magazine size, so if you're running something like Quad instead of a damage increasing perk like Bloodied, then maybe you want those cards because your legendary isn't giving you a boost like Bloody does, or anti-armor, or Executioners or Junkies, or whatever you're running. There's a lot to consider. But if you're just looking to use other cards for your build and find yourself worrying about the specific damage ones like Commando or Heavy Gunner, they do help, and that's why most will say, okay, just run 1-star versions of them, so you're saving yourself from running the full maxed out 3 stars. But if you're not in the, trying to min max and you just want other cards to give you a better quality of life playthrough and just to make things easier and just have other cards that you prefer, then definitely go for those. Now, I know this was a bit of a longer one, so thanks for sticking around. If you did, then hey, I'm hoping you enjoyed. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stick around for more Fallout content. As always, massive thank you to the channel members for their support and to everyone that has been subscribing recently. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.